Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Learning Hub. If you have not subscribed, so please subscribe it and hit the bell icon. In the previous video, we have completed the first chapter, that is Harappan civilization, and today we are starting with chapter number 2, that is the Vedic period. Okay, so Vedic period is divided into two periods. First one is early Vedic period, second one is later Vedic period. Okay, these are the two periods of Vedic period, early Vedic period and later Vedic period. So who were the Aryans? Aryans were those people who have come down to our country, as it is told by some scholars and historians. And when they came to our country, that period was basically called as early Vedic period. In early Vedic period, they came to our country. And what was the time period during that time? It was from 1500 BC to 1000 BC. During this time period, they came to our country, and this is the early Vedic period. In that time span, the Aryans came to our country. Now, what did they find out when they came to India? What was their main tool? Okay, so iron was the tool used at that time. They means Aryans. Aryans followed the course of the rivers. They came through those rivers, and which were the two important rivers that they followed? Okay, that is Yamuna and Ganga. And we all know what is the importance of an iron tool. So Aryans, they were aware that only occupation that is going to work at the time is only agriculture. Now, what was the use of the tools? Tools were also used to clear the forest. Now, from early Vedic period, okay, after that, after early Vedic period, which period starts? Later Vedic period. And so, what is the time period of later Vedic period? The time period from 1000 BC to 500 BC is called as later Vedic period. Vedic culture is completely based on the Vedic literature or Vedas. Now come to the sources part. Sources means from where we get the information of that time period. So two types of sources are there, literary sources and archaeological sources. Already we know literary sources means the written records, the books from where we get the information of that time. And archaeological sources, they are related with the inscriptions, monuments. Okay, now first we will study about the literary sources. The Vedic text, it is divided into two categories. How many categories are there of Vedic text? Two categories are there of Vedic text, that is the early Vedic text and later Vedic text. The early Vedic text is between 1500 BC to 1000 BC. Most of the hymns means the sweet songs, okay, or mantras, shloks. So most of the hymns of Rig Veda, okay, they were composed in this time period. Rig Veda we will study later on, okay, in deep. And the later Vedic period, that is from 1000 BC to 500 BC. Here the remaining Vedas means the Sam Veda, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda. So all these remaining Vedas and the branches, they were made like Brahmanas, Upanishads. They were composed in the later Vedic period. Now we will talk about the word Veda. See, Veda is derived from the Sanskrit word Ved. We call it as Ved also. Okay, so the word Veda is derived from which word? It is derived from Ved, and Ved is a Sanskrit word and it means knowledge. Vedic literature is divided into two parts. First one is Shruti and second is Smriti. The knowledge of Shruti literature was passed orally from one generation to another. People, they told orally everything about the Shruti literature. Now, Smriti literature, it was composed or it was written by the rishis. Now, let's move on to the four categories of Vedic literature. It is divided into four parts: Veda, Brahmanas, Aranyakas, and Upanishads. Total, how many Vedas are there? Four: Rig Veda, Samveda, Yajurveda, and Atharveda. First one we will study about Rig Veda. It is considered to be the oldest religious text in the world. This text is the oldest one. It is said to have been composed during the early Vedic period. All the hymns are dedicated by the sages to God, and orally they were passed from the teachers to the reciters. Recitals means those who used to recite at the time. Now let's come on to Samveda. See, Samveda means sweet song. The hymns are borrowed from Rig Veda and it was meant to be sung at the time of sacrifice by the priest. Whenever priest used to sacrifice at the time, which one hymns are sung? That is mentioned here in Samveda. The hymns of the Samveda were sung when the priest used to make any sacrifice. Next is Yajurveda. See, Yajurveda deals with the hymns during the performance of yajnas. Yajnas means yagya. So whenever they are performing yajna or yagya, at the time they used to sing those hymns. It also throws light on social and religious life of the Aryans. And the last Veda is Atharveda. In this, the hymns are deal with magic and charm. Most of the hymns are taken from Rig Veda. These hymns also deals with the medicine for the treatment. Then these four Vedas are Shrutis, means they are passed orally from one generation to another or from one person to another. These Shrutis are direct message delivered by the God to the saints. Then second category is Brahmanas. See, these Brahmanas, these are written by Vedas. They explain about the social and religious importance of the rituals as well as the importance or value of the sacrifice. So Brahmanas, they explain us about the values of rituals, and these are written in prose, and as in your English poetry and prose are there na, so Brahmanas are written in prose. Then next category is Aranyakas. These are considered as the forest books. Okay, and books were the guidance to the people, those who were living in the forest. These are the guidebooks. Then last is Upanishad. These are the philosophical commentaries on the topic related to moksha, karma, maya. Okay, so all the philosophies written on these topics. Then next topic is allied Vedic literature. So first one is Vedangas. Vedangas tells us how Vedas are to be chanted. जो भी Vedas हैं उनको कैसे बोलना है. Chanted means how to sing or speak. The next is the Sutras. Sutras are divided into three groups. First one is Shrota Sutras. Okay, Shrota Sutras. It is related with yajnas or yajnas and sacrifices. Second is Griha Sutras. It is related or it tells us about the ceremonies which are connected with the family life. Third one is Dharma Sutras. It refers to the rules and regulations that we have to follow. Okay, means that the person has to follow in his life. Then Upvedas, four Upvedas are there. First one is Ayurveda. It is related with the medicine. Okay, we are familiar with this word. Then second is Dhanurveda. It explains the activities related to the war. Third is Gandharveda. It explains about the music. Fourth is Shilpveda. It tells us about or it describes about art and architecture. Fourth is Darshanas. Darshanas are the 6 schools of Indian philosophy. Then Dharma Shastras, all the law books and smritis, they are known as Dharma Shastras. They tells us about the duties of all the people. What is the duty of a people? What is the duty of a king? Okay, so it tells us. Who tells us? Dharma Shastras tells us about the duties. Then sixth is Ashtadhyayi. These are the systematic study of Sanskrit grammar by the Panini. Then we will talk about the epics. 2 main epics are there, Ramayana and Mahabharata. We are familiar with this. Who wrote Ramayana? It was written by Maharshi Valmiki. And in which language? In Sanskrit language. Already we know the story of Ramayana. Okay. So this story revolves around Lord Ram and abduction or kidnapping of his wife Sita and the love of his brother Lakshman. It is believed that Lord Ram was given the punishment of exile, or he went into exile of 14 years, and after 14 years he came back to Ayodhya, his kingdom. But there in the forest, Ravan came and disguised and kidnapped and abducted his wife Sita and took her to Sri Lanka. Lord Ram, he crossed the ocean, he defeated Ravan. Okay, so this is all about Ramayana. Next is Mahabharata. Who wrote it? It was written by Vedvyas in Sanskrit language. Originally it was called Jaya. Previously its name was Jaya. Then it was known as Bharat. But after the final compilation, it came to be known as Mahabharata. Its one main important part is there, that is Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the part of the Mahabharata and the most popular religious text. It describes that soul is immortal, soul never dies. Then importance of the epics. Epics are the main source of information on political, social, religious matters. They tells us about the kingdom of the Aryans, their tools, about their weapons. This is the literary work of the ancient period. They also tells us about the life of the Aryans, how they used to live, about Bhagavad Gita, about great heroes. It tells us about all these things. Okay, then we will talk about the archaeological sources. So the available archaeological sources of the period, it includes iron implements and different tools, remains of pottery. These are the archaeological sources. In detail we will do in our next video. Thank you.